Let's introduce prepositions. Now, prepositions are common structure words, so they relate a noun or a pronoun to the rest of the sentence. If you look at the example here, our preposition is beside, and a preposition is usually followed by what's called an object of the preposition. So there's our object, the house, and this noun in this case is related to the rest of the sentence. So there are a number of different kinds of prepositions. In this video we'll review the most common types of prepositions and how you can think about them, and then we'll provide a separate video as well, just talking a bit more about this whole unit together, which is called a prepositional phrase. So that gets a little bit trickier, how that prepositional phrase relates to the rest of the sentence. But for now, we just want to spot the preposition and kind of see what it's doing in relation to nouns and pronouns. Okay, so there are three major categories of prepositions. The first one is the spatial preposition. And these are quite easy to think about because they relate objects in space. So if you were to take a couple of objects and you can think of these things as nouns. So a tree is a noun, a house is a noun. Then you can use all sorts of prepositions to relate them to each other. So you could use prepositions such as, let's just change our color here. You could say between these two things. You could say above, you could say under, you could go right through the house and get to the tree. So you can then make all sorts of sentences up about these prepositions. You can say that there's a car between the house and the tree. You can fly through the house if the windows are open. There is smoke above the house. So there are many, many prepositions that are spatial in character, and I won't bore you with all of them, but if you get the pattern, then you can look at a list of prepositions and see how these prepositions fit in. Our second kind of preposition has to do with time. So if you imagine a clock here, this will be kind of an ugly drawing, so let's just have our clock, and we can make up a number of prepositions that relate to the passing of time. So we could say during a certain amount of time. We could say I'll visit you after 8 o'clock. You could say in an hour. And in each case, that preposition again has to be followed by that object, right? So in an hour. The hour is the noun, it's the object of the preposition, and again, together this is a prepositional phrase. You can say to, you can say until. There are many more prepositions that have to do with time. It's not quite as big a category as the spatial prepositions, but it's another important one to know about. Our last category of prepositions is the abstract preposition. And an example would be something like despite the rain. So the rain is our noun. Rain is a noun, and despite is our preposition. But despite isn't really a spatial preposition. It doesn't have to do with time. So as a result, we can't easily categorize it. And there are lots of these abstract prepositions. One of the most common ones is of. Other ones would be like or unlike. You can talk about something being notwithstanding. Of course, it always has to be followed by a noun, so you'd say, notwithstanding the rain, let's go for a walk, something like that. You can say because of the rain, and so on. Now, you do have to be careful because some of these prepositions can also be conjunctions at times. So because can be a conjunction, for instance, and everything depends on context. And that's really the secret to parts of speech. So if you look at the context of the preposition in the sentence, and you look for that noun or pronoun that comes afterwards, and together with the preposition forms that prepositional phrase, then you're dealing, you know you're dealing with a preposition. If you don't have that, then it's probably something else. So again, prepositional phrases, they add extra information to the sentence. They're not part of the core of the sentence, and the preposition is that structure word that relates a noun or a pronoun to the other part of the sentence.